All right, everybody. Turkey season's coming up fast, so we're going to drop these videos. It's going to be called Talking Turkey, and I'm going to try to teach you how to use a mouth call, and I'm going to cover every call that you can possibly do. Well, I want to say every call you could possibly do, because there's some things I can't do, but every turkey sound, let's put it that way. And I'm sorry I got a head cold. It's probably bothering y'all worse than it is me, but I know I sound terrible. But we're going to cover calls from A to Z and anything you would do on a stage or in the woods. And you might say, well, they're not relatable, but in my opinion, they are. On the stage, you're just prohibited to a time frame, and in the woods, you're not. So we're going to do everything from a plain yelp all the way to a fighting purr and everything in between. And I really appreciate you watching my videos on teaching you how to do this, because there's tons of videos out there that could teach you all this stuff. And so I appreciate you watching mine. And with that said, let's get into it. Yelping. So, a plain yelp is basically, that's the foundation of all turkey language. That's what hens do. That's basically saying, hey, here I am. I'm over here. Or, hey, is there anybody else around me? That's basically what a plain yelp is. So, with a plain yelp on a mouth call, you take your mouth call, every call you do, the reeds are always going to be facing out. This part, always facing out. And then most of the time, you'll either have a bump on the bottom of the call, or your top reed is going to be hanging over. That part goes on the top. That top reed that's hanging over, it goes on top. So when you're about to do a yelp, I'm trying to make this as short but as simple as possible. I don't want to get too detailed, but it does take a lot of detail. So it may be a little bit too long for some of you, but that's okay. You can wait and watch the next one. So with a yelp, if you're really trying to get the best sound you could possibly get with a mouth call, you have to huff air. You don't just use what I call is free air, where you taking a deep breath and go. You want every note to be its own breath, basically. So when you go to yelp, you want it to be you want to blow air out like you're fogging up a window. So with that being said, most of the time, and when you're first starting, you're going to get a sound something like this. So, and that's the key is you want to get a sound. So when you get a sound, now you know you can build on that and work on it. So play with tongue pressure. You want the call to be about halfway on your tongue. Stick it up there on the roof of your mouth, and then you press it against the roof of your mouth with your tongue, and play with tongue pressure. And the way I like to yelp, I usually go, I'm mouthing the word hup or help. Go, and you want to blow air out like you're fogging up a window. And to get that well-rounded yelp, you want it to have a high and a low, just like there. Instead of it being, you want it to have a high front end and a lower back end. So to do that, you have to find that sweet spot on that call. And that really depends on you as a caller, and it depends on the call that you have. You may have a right of center airflow, or you may have a left of center airflow, and your airflow may go right down the middle. So that would be a ghost cut, where this part of the call, the very center, is cut out. And then a right of center would be, this is a bat wing, so this call would be perfect for right of center or left of center. And once you play with your call enough, you can feel that air. You can feel which way it's pushing out. And I don't have a graphic to show you, but a really good way to figure out what call you might need that would best suit you is you can get a mirror. Find you a single reed call, or it may not even have to be a single reed. Get you a call, put it in your mouth, and get in the mirror, get a mirror and open your mouth just enough to where you can see that call, and you can see which way that air is coming through that reed. And whichever way that air is coming through, you want your call to reflect that. So you want that one spot, that's where you want that top reed to be cut out. So with that said, that's how you find your high front ends. I mean, once you get a little more experienced, it's easier to find front end on just about any call, but it's a lot easier once you have the right call for your airflow. So to find that high front end, just play with tongue pressure and play with the way that you're delivering the air. There's that high front end. So now I remember that, and I find that spot, and that's where I start the yelp every time. So I hope that helps you guys out. I know this video wasn't extremely detailed. I'm trying not to make it super detailed, which the basic beginning yelp and getting that foundation, that's usually the most detailed that you have to be. So if you have any questions, feel free, ask in the comments. But also remember, guys, it takes a lot of practice. I mean, whatever amount of practice you think you might have to have, it's more. Because, and I'm not trying to say that to sound mean, because it's taken me 20 years to get to the point that I am, and I'm still not even where I want to be. So you have to have a ton of practice. Some people don't have to have as much practice, but if you're like me, you're gonna have to have a lot of practice. But if you have any questions, if you're trying to figure out how to do it, or if you want to get better, feel free, ask in the comments, hit a like on this video, and hit that subscribe button, and we're gonna come back at you with another video here very soon.